The way they keep those statistics on who unemployment has been changing to make it look rosier than it really is.
Yes, but I would say there's another statistic which is more important, which is the labor force participation rate, which is down around 61% now. But as recently as the 1990s, early 2000s, it was around 67%. So that's a 6.5 point decline, or 10% decline if you think of it as a percentage of the whole. That's a big deal. That number is the lowest it has been since the 1970s, when women first started coming into the workforce in large numbers. Now, if you don't have a job, but you're not looking for a job, you're actually not counted as unemployed. The unemployment number we saw, and it declined from, it hit about 13% last spring, came down to 10. Now it's around 7 or so, maybe slightly higher. That's still high, but it's a significant improvement over where it was last April, let's say. But that's not the number that matters. The number that matters is labor force participation. So what's happened is tens of millions of Americans have left the workforce. And I'm talking ages 25 to 54. I'm not talking about a 68-year-old who wants to keep working, or a teenager, or we're not talking about disabled. There are perfectly good reasons for people not to be in the workforce. There are always some, but we're talking about able-bodied individuals between the ages of 25 and 54, prime working ages, who have left the workforce. If you're not banging on the door of the unemployment office looking for a job, they don't count you as unemployed, but you're not working and you're not producing. And so I look at that number because to me, it's a better gauge of economic growth.
Displayed right here. So that's just simply Googling the labor force participation rate kept up by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And is this pretty much it? This is what makes it hard, right? Because everybody hears the news headlines, and we know they're always just trying to sell news headlines, just like how they're talking about how collections are horrible, but I don't see any of that issue happening. They're always saying that unemployment's down, but is this really the way they cut through that noise?
Yeah, this is a more meaningful chart than the unemployment rate. Again, this is the labor force participation rate. Now, you notice you heard a lot of talk in last March, April, May about the V-shaped recovery and pent-up demand and all that. And you look at that chart and look at labor force participation. Well, you see the steep decline at the time of the pandemic. Okay, got it. It came back, but that's not a V. That's like a half a V. In other words, the bounce, now it's flat and going down again. So yeah, you had a little bit of a bounce back. That was to be expected after we got the original round of lockdowns in May and June. So you had that bounce back, but then it flatlined and now it's going down again. And that's consistent with what I said earlier, which is we're heading back into another recession right now because there's a new round of lockdowns. You don't need a PhD to figure this out. You lock down half the economy, you're going to get a recession. It's as simple as that.